Welcome to momedaram. In this video, we will see the difference between method overloading and method overriding in Java. Method overloading. If a class has more than one method with the same name, different number of arguments or different type of arguments, then we can call that method is overloaded. Method overriding. If a class extends its superclass, all or some members of superclass are inherited to its subclass. The process of modifying the superclass method in subclass is known as method overriding. Now let us see the differences between this method overloading and method overriding. Method name. The name of the method should be same in overloading and in overriding. In method overloading, arguments must be different, at least any one of these, like number of arguments, type of arguments, and order of arguments. If two methods are having same, then we can consider as duplicated. So the overloaded method should have different number of arguments or type of arguments or order of arguments. In method overriding, the arguments like number of arguments, type of arguments, and order of arguments should be same as superclass method. Return type. In overloading, it won't bother about return type. So a method can have different type of return types, but when it comes to overriding, it must compatible with superclass method. That means if your superclass method is returning primitive type, then the subclass also should return primitive type only. For example, if superclass method is returning int type, then the overriding method in the subclass also should return int only. If superclass method is returning derived type or user defined type, then in the subclass also we should use the same data type, or we can mention its subclasses. Private static final methods. In overloading, we can use private static final methods. It will allow, there is no restriction in these three keywords. But when it comes to method overriding, we cannot override the private static final methods of superclasses in the subclass. So method overriding won't supported for these keywords. Access modifiers. So in the overloading, it will only check for method signature, that means the name, type of arguments, and number of arguments. It won't bother about access modifiers, so there is no restriction in overloading. But when it comes to overriding, you can keep the same visibility or you can increase the visibility, but you cannot reduce it. That means if your superclass method is having public, then the subclass it should be public only, because that is the high visibility. If superclass method is having protected, then the subclass can have protected or it can be declared as public, but we should not give like private or a default. That means we should increase the visibility, we should not reduce the visibility. Method resolution. This method resolution can take care by compiler based on reference type. In overriding, method resolution will be taken care by JVM based on runtime object. This method overloading, also known as compile time polymorphism or static polymorphism or early binding. We can call this overriding as runtime polymorphism or dynamic polymorphism or late binding. This is the main differences between overloading and overriding. To know more about what is overloading and what is overriding in Java, the links are added in the description. Hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.